Hello, my name is Botman, and for the convenience of the listeners, I will be responsible for further narration of the videos with the plan. Welcome to the second part of the video series, Madness in the Western World, and an introduction to a realistic solution. Before we proceed to the first objective, please remember that this is a long-term plan. Some elements of the plan are designed for the here and now, while others are for hypothetical, far future scenarios, securing our future in case of every possible future scenario which we were able to predict. We won't try to set up everything at once. We will proceed with realization step by step, achieving one objective at a time, based on our possibilities, so do not rush to any wrong conclusions. Everything that is presented in this plan is completely possible, but only if people like you are willing to stand with us, holding our back in the struggle for our future. First objective: to inform people who are already aware and concerned about our current situation in the Western world that a solution exists, and unite them over the realization of this plan. In the first step of this objective, we need to reach as many people as possible and inform them about all of this. We need to assemble a virtual army of sorts, legions of supporters from all over the world, who will help us in the realization of this operation. We need to stand united on a common ground, above our meaningless differences, and work together to secure the realization of this plan, and at the same time protecting and remaining loyal to our current traditional Western values and cultures, with the ultimate objective of restoring sanity, reason, and order within our Western countries in the current rotten and corrupt system, or after the system collapses on its own. It does not matter if you're young or old, if you're rich or poor, if you're pagan, atheist, or Christian. This plan will unite us all on common ground and will give all of you equal opportunities to do your part in this fight for our future, appropriate to your individual capabilities. On the issue of spreading the word comes people like you, people who have contacts, who exchange opinions with like-minded individuals on forums, social platforms, and who post comments on videos and articles. If you see people struggling to find an alternative to our dying system, discussing the possible situations and then possible options for these situations, tell them about this operation, post a comment with a link to my videos, or simply share those videos whenever possible, where you think it will gain the attention of other people who share our concerns about the future. By people like you, and with your declared support, we may reach and gain the attention of more influential people with outreach as a result. Even more possibilities open. If every single viewer of this material who approves of this plan does their part and spreads the news about what you've heard here, our range would grow quickly, helping us preserve precious time. On the second front, to reach large numbers of aware people on the internet, we will need the help of aware video producers, for example, so-called YouTubers, as well as support from right-minded community groups and movements, as we all need to cooperate and spread the word about this operation to reach as many people as possible and as fast as possible, because we all need to be prepared for a united call to action, which will be coordinated by those bigger ProxyTube collaborators. The initiator and main architect of this plan, who is Orel, had a very unpleasant experience in the past when it came to addressing so-called quote-unquote YouTubers on the right. With their well-secured and supported position comes arrogance and ignorance, and solidarity exists mostly for show. For now, I will not be naming the people who turned their backs on this operation for no logical reason at all. Those who were too busy, to even study the material, even while he made videos dedicated to each one of them from our, quote, Appeal to Reason video series. Ignorance is an unforgivable crime when it comes to opportunities for our future, especially if you regularly preach to people about how bad the situation is and what our problems are. Orel's appeal to these people is, how about you present a realistic solution for once, instead of constantly asking for more money or undefined goals, delivering bad news and blackpilling people about the final outcome. These people have created a business through delivering bad news. We have an expression. Most of them will ignore our appeals until they can't afford to, which means until the members of our open supporters are large enough. If we assemble at least a few legions of the most devoted and serious supporters, we will have their attention. As I said, people like you, regular subscribers, supporters, are on the first front when it comes to spreading the message and reaching people. So we need big YouTubers, bloggers, and internet community leaders who openly claim to be on our side. We need them to inform people, so I will continue to make videos from my Appeal to Reason series, where I officially address certain people or groups of people and I ask them to study the material of this operation. The more well-known people who declare their support for this operation, the faster we will be able to assemble our legions of supporters through social media. This is how we intend to inform the aware masses about this operation. If you, as one of the viewers, attempt to spread the message about this operation, you will help us in a sense by being a soldier in this war where information is the key to gain control over the population. By helping us, you will act as a soldier who stands for truth and who fights against any negative manipulation. We will corner all major YouTube celebrities who officially fight for our Western civilization to either debunk this operation, prove it to be wrong and a bad idea with proper arguments and explanations, or to support us in the realization of this operation, which we are expecting them to do since it's the only true solution available for our current situation. Or they will simply show their true colors in a critical moment of our fight for the future of the West, and when a solution is available to use, they will dare to ignore it. They will dare to refuse to help us without any logical reason when we ask them for it. How will we do that? As I've said, our team will continue making videos within Orel's Appeal to Reason series, where he directly addresses every major aware YouTuber, where he asks for help. He's asking them for their approval of his plan, and he is telling them to talk to their legions of subscribers and inform them about this crusade for the future of our traditional Western civilization. This will help us assemble those legions on our main channel and our website, where at the right time we will improve our organization and publish videos with then further instructions. We really wish right-minded YouTubers would have organized similar plans. They have had plenty of time, over 10 years, to do something. And I have been monitoring this situation in Europe and North America, this destruction of Western civilization, for at least the last 12 years now. Nobody did anything meaningful to stop it. Nobody proposed any real solution. They always do the same thing. Deliver depressing news, point out the problems, make some nice sounding but empty propaganda speeches, a never-ending cycle. And this solves nothing. We need to take real action, not just for show, but with meaning, with well-defined goals, and that's what this plan delivers. Without a realistic solution, no matter what they do, it's not going to change anything, but I think people are already aware of that. They've listened to those preachers for years, and the situation in the real world is only getting worse and worse every day. Ignoring the meaningless small symbolic victories from time to time, we are losing the big game. Nobody can save this world alone. We must stand united and do it together. From what we know, there is not a single aware, or should I say red-pilling, blogger, news provider, or philosopher who provides any realistic solution for our miserable situation. I repeat to clarify this. They talk a lot, provide information, diagnose the problem, and explain how things should work in a healthy system. But I do not tell their listeners how to fix our terrible situation. So they diagnose the problem, they explain how it should be in a healthier organism or society, if you prefer. They constantly ask for our resources, time, and money by telling the better informed and aware people what they want to hear about the actual situation. Pretty smooth sounding talk, and empty, pretty talk, and meaningless actions showing our resistance for show. But no matter what any of them have done so far in the last 10 to 20 years, it didn't change and it will not change our situation for the better. Their actions, even while they have hundreds of thousands of supporters from all over the world, have no impact on the miserable situation in our countries. And that is the main difference between this plan and them, because we are trying to organize people, and I provide a realistic solution, a plan, step by step, to either fix our system or to secure a future for us, the aware, responsible people, and our future generations in this world, even in the worst case scenario. This operation is the best solution. In fact, it's the only functional solution available, which will succeed if we are smart enough to unite to use it and go through the process together. So please, do your best after you study this plan. If you approve it, please help us gain as much support as possible and start talking about it. Do not wait and assume someone else will do this task for you. Do it yourself. Post information about this solution in the comments under the videos of like-minded YouTubers. Post it everywhere where you can. Send emails to people. Try to get their attention to this operation. In the first 2 months after publishing of this material, I want to see a few legions of people subscribe to this channel, assuming the channel won't be shut down in the meantime, as it will prove to us that people really care and are willing to do their part. The second step in the first objective will be about distinguishing controlled opposition from among our ranks, from our big YouTubers who serve officially as a propaganda tube. It won't be difficult, because these so-called controlled opposition are trying to divide us, to keep us weak and disorganized. They're trying to keep us on the road to nowhere, or even demotivate us from opposing this destruction of our nations, which is easy to spot and recognize. Controlled opposition tends to either be working directly for our enemies, or don't really care about our situation and stay to profit from our misery. This task is about dealing with those people who are trying to keep us distracted, divided, and disorganized, and will be performed mostly by me, and everything will be revealed with time in my public videos. We will judge them based on their actions, not empty words and declarations. It's worthwhile to explain this now. If Orel is too responsible for this realization of this operation, he will be supporting a policy which is based on complete transparency. What does that mean? It means that people who show their support for this operation will have a clear view, mostly for our website, on the progress of the realization, on the process of decision making, and all of the operations budget and spending. There will also be a huge interaction between the supporters and the leading team of this operation through a virtual control panel called orelpolstrat, in which I will speak in detail about later in this video series. So why did I decide to apply this policy of complete transparency? For various reasons. First, people tend to be skeptical of a stranger with a plan coming seemingly out of nowhere, so in order to change that, the people should have full live updates about the situation, progress, and all of our actions. If supporters know what we do, how we do it, and why, then I cannot see a reason why they would distrust us with this great responsibility. And if we happen to do anything wrong or ignore the will and voice of the supporters or interests of our people, they can simply withdraw their support or demand the replacement of anyone within the leading team of this operation. This operation will start and begin making progress quickly thanks to people like you. So the people who will have the right to monitor everything and potentially shut us down. The second reason is because this policy helps to prevent any potential sabotage within. After we go public and when we have open recruitment to people from the outside, there will be no possibility of preventing infiltration from bad actors. A skilled infiltrator would play along as long as he needs to in order to eventually hold a position of power within the structure. And from there, he could potentially make moves to damage the integrity of this operation. So, how do I intend to counter this situation like this? Thanks to the fully transparent policy mechanics, we will be able to detect infiltrators very fast, because all the harmful actions of such an individual will be visible to the public and can be pointed out quickly by the rest of the team or by anyone from the supporting cast who observes the progress of the operation. Also, thanks to this policy, we should be able to minimize the damage which any possible infiltration could do to this operation. They might be able to slow us down, but they won't be able to stop the realization of this operation, especially after it starts to gain traction thanks to the supporters who will be monitoring the situation. It's the same as with politicians. You see them doing wrong or making bad decisions, you're able to quickly point it out. But with politicians, you're not able to do anything about it. With us, you will have the power to stop any wrongdoing. The third reason is to prevent corruption among leading team members. Supporters of this operation should have a clear view even of the salaries of the main team members, and thanks to the orelpolstrat control panel mechanics, supporters will have the possibility to regulate salaries for members based on their performance and the results of the tasks of which they are responsible for. Part of this plan aims to create our own economy within the real world, which means at some point a lot of money will be involved. We must be completely sure that people at the top of the leadership positions in this operation are guided by care and devotion to securing our future, and not advancing their own selfish goals. The fourth reason is that we need to be clear about all the maintenance costs and taxes which we will have to pay to the state in which we operate through performing certain operations. Everything we do must and will be completely legal, and one way to prevent or minimize any potential false accusations is to keep our bills and financial transactions completely transparent, not only within the state but also with the public. I will quote Orel now. Under my leadership, personal accountability is an integral element in all of our work, ethics, and governments. Projects. End quote. I hope I haven't made any mistakes by introducing this policy for the realization of this operation. But if there are any objections, please share them with me. I will gladly make corrections. Hopefully, this will be a clarification to people who suspect us of running any sort of controlled opposition.